As you saw last week, we got the windlass completely out, and after getting it all out and apart, we determined there was no saving it. We weren't able to get any parts for it, the motor was locked up, and it was so corroded. So we ordered a brand new Maxwell windlass that was supposed to be similar to our old windlass holes on the deck. As you can see, it is not. So we are having a discussion with the template of how we are going to build up the deck to fill in the old hole, cut a new hole, and it all be secure. And part of that is going to be a stainless steel plate we have fabricated for the top, and Dwight will do a plywood build-up underneath. So watch as we get started making this back solid for our new windlass.
About to leave, already packing, come with me, I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is what we waited for.
Dwight is just taking the new windlass and trying to see if there's a way to set it in there, just so he can look at what all he's got to do for sure versus the template. Gasket?
I think I understand.
Huh? I'm gonna go see about instructions.
Gotta come apart.
Okay. So to set it in there, it would have to come apart. So that'll have to wait, and we'll just use the template.
At this size piece.
You're gonna be bolted well outside of the hole range.
3 on the back, 3 on the front.
Or 3.
On the sides.
I'd do, yeah. Maybe.
Should be more than enough, wouldn't you think? Aluminum would probably be 1/8 inch steel.
They might know.
1/8 inch would be plenty. That we could fold to the deck.
I would think you'd need one here, one here, one here.
I'm not working on the holes at the moment.
I know, but
Yeah, that's. Then we'd need to put epoxy down underneath the steel. Maybe. A heavy dose of silicone.
or 5200.
Isn't that the stuff that doesn't come out? I don't want that.
But I don't know if we need, even if we came out an inch wider, then
Yeah, let's just do it at this size. 2 there. 2 here. And then 1 on each corner. That'll be plenty. It will hold. I was going to do a big plate, but then I started thinking about it. No, don't have to do that.
and we just need something that's anchored to the deck good,
Yes.
that's strong enough to hold
Yes.
against the pulling of the windlass.
It'll be more than enough. 3/8 heavy grade bolts through it.
Dwight is trying to test fit the piece of plywood up in there before we resin it, just to make sure it's going to work. So now to get a coat of resin on it so it can dry right.
I gotta trim a little bit right here, and then just resin it up.
Okay. working with what you have on a boat to resin plywood. We're using a trash bag to protect the dock to lay it on while we resin it. I use these little pieces to weight all your We're using West Systems 105 epoxy resin with the 206 hardener. It dries a little quicker, so it will work better for our application because we have an open hole in the boat. And that's on the 2. So this is our board we're having to put under the deck because the new windlass does not fit the same hole. So we're having to fill in all the holes and fix some extra support. So we are fixing to resin this board to protect it from elements, and then he will get it resined up and fiberglassed up in underneath to have it in. But for right now he's just trying to get where he can put a coat of resin on it. What did it say its dry time was? 20 minutes?
Yeah.
206. Boatlife 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Working time 90 to 110. Cured a solid 10 to 15 hours. Now just to wait for it to dry, and then we'll resin it up into the boat. Fiberglass. Now he's trying to cut the actual hole in the top of the deck, the plywood pieces to go in it, and get it fitted. Need the marker to mark, or?
I need my pencil, which was sitting beside where that is. A lot better if I change the blade.
Probably. You still have a metal blade on there, don't you?
Yeah. That's a big cut through.
Yeah, it's a big blade.
Before whatever blade. Instead of like a little coping blade.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's not a fine blade like you're normally using doing that.
Okay.
It's a filler piece.
Let's hold it. That's clear.
A little bit on the top left.
Yes. Just cutting out that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I should do it.
Good.
Should work. Oh.
little bitty point right up.
Yeah. Over.
Is that the only spot?
Here's the bay. Okay. 5 more times.
Trying to fit a funky shaped hole.
Right there.
Yeah. Or you leave it tight like that and tap it down once you won't go, will it?
Yeah, it's there. It's flush with the boat.
Yeah, but I think that it's not as thick as you have to go look underneath.
I kind of need it to
Come out.
You want to go inside and push it out?
Yep. I gotta get something to push with. It's stuck. I'm just putting the screw in the center to hold it up, right? So Dwight is setting up the piece of plywood that we put resin over, and it's got glue on it. And
Tell
I'm
me
gonna put
when.
a screw through it, just to temporarily be able to hold it up while he anchors it from underneath. You'll have to come get your drill.
Alright.
This is our first layer down below. It is 3/4 plywood that is resined and glued to the top. He's getting it anchored below. It will have stainless steel 3/8 bolts that go through a plate down through the deck and down through that. And then we're going to fill all this in with more plywood, resin plywood, and epoxy. And then underneath we will put fiberglass tab all of it in. So hopefully we'll be stronger than what we were. Dwight is using a JB Weld 5-minute quick epoxy to fill in any voids, holes, or gaps that he finds between the plywood he just screwed up and the deck. We want to make sure that it is all filled in all of its voids and sealed up.
I have that thing pulled up tight.
We didn't resin that one.
I know, it'll be fine. It will be covered in epoxy.
Okay.
And again, a big chunk of it, I believe, is getting
Cut out, yeah.
There we go.
That should leave enough room for your next board.
Yeah. I'll put the next board in now.
I think you need to put epoxy on all that, and then we can possibly put the next board in.
So I need all the other epoxy to dry.
Maybe. I don't know. It should still all set. We just couldn't drill any holes for a couple of days. Does it say? sailboat holes. In between the front of that little white board.
Yeah. I was just thinking about those 2 screws. Then come out when I drill it out if that gets to
The only
it.
problem you'd have is if they're in the spot of where the drill's got to go.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to use the saw to get it out, cut that out anyway.
All right. Leave them in there then.
Get us our other board.
Okay.
Where'd the sun go?
Yeah, we've got clouds rolling back in.
Very nice. Okay.
Pretty perfect fit, isn't it? Two grain spruce. This is an epoxy paste to bond all this and seal all this together. And part of that we will be cutting back out with the new windlass holes. And then we have a stainless steel plate to go over the top. So we're not trying to be pretty, we're trying to be functional and dry. Here Dwight's just trying to get a top coat put over the top of everything. There is a bottom layer of plywood, and then in the actual hole there are 2 pieces of plywood. So it's 3 3/4 pieces of plywood thick now down through there, and this epoxy paste is between each layer, and then he's putting the top coat on so that it has a somewhat smooth surface for us to mount everything to. Okay, let all that dry and then...
Yep.
And come back and put a final coat on it. This is what it looked like when he got all the coats on it, ready to sand. So join us next week as we get the holes cut through the deck and our stainless steel plate arrives. So now we're ready to get everything mounted and installed. Thanks for watching.